You've probably asked ChatGPT a question about a document you uploaded, only to get an answer that sounds confident, but has nothing to do with what's actually in your file. The AI knew the internet. It just didn't know your document. And that's a problem when you're doing actual research that matters. Today we're looking at a Google tool that grew faster than any other AI product they've ever made, and it's completely free. It's called NotebookLM. And unlike ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, it doesn't try to be an expert on everything. It becomes an expert on exactly what you give it. We're talking 50 documents per project, clickable citations that jump to the exact sentence it's referencing, and a podcast feature that turns your research into audio you can listen to while driving. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to use NotebookLM for your next research project. Let's get into it. Here's the fundamental problem with using AI for research. General chatbots like ChatGPT are trained on the internet. They know a lot about a lot of things. But when you upload your specific documents, your contracts, your research papers, your meeting transcripts, those general AI systems often get confused. They'll confidently reference things that aren't in your files. They'll mix up what you gave them with what they learned from the internet. It's not reliable enough for serious work. NotebookLM takes a completely different approach. It deliberately ignores everything except what you upload. It becomes an expert only on your materials. This might sound limiting, but it's actually the entire point. When you're doing due diligence on a company, you don't want the AI bringing in random internet information. When you're reviewing legal contracts, you want answers about those contracts, not what some other contract said online. NotebookLM gets this right. In late 2025, NotebookLM grew by 57%, faster than any other AI tool Google has ever released. That's remarkable for a product most people still haven't heard of. The reason for that growth is simple. It solves a specific problem extremely well instead of trying to do everything mediocrely. So how does it actually work? Let me walk you through the core features you'll use every day. First, the basics. You can upload up to 50 source documents per notebook. That includes PDFs, Google Docs, transcripts, even YouTube video links. Each source can be up to 500,000 words. That's roughly 1,000 pages per document. For most research projects, that's more than enough capacity. The free tier gives you 100 separate notebooks. So you could have 100 different research projects, each with 50 sources. That's 5,000 documents total for free. Once your documents are uploaded, you interact with NotebookLM through a chat interface. You ask questions, it answers based only on your sources. Every answer includes clickable citations that jump directly to the exact passage in your source material. You can verify everything instantly with one click. This is huge for anyone who needs to actually cite their sources. Academics, lawyers, consultants, analysts. You're not just getting answers, you're getting verifiable answers. Let me give you a practical example. Say you're analyzing 10 competitor pitch decks for market research. Normally, you'd spend hours reading each one. You upload all 10 to NotebookLM. Now you can ask questions like, what pricing models do these companies use? How do they each describe their competitive advantage? NotebookLM synthesizes across all documents and tells you exactly which deck said what, with citations you can click to verify. That's hours of work done in minutes. Now here's where it gets really interesting. In 2026, Google added the deep research feature. This is more than just asking questions. Deep research generates visual mind maps of all the concepts from your documents. It shows you how ideas connect across your sources in ways you might have missed. It's like having a research assistant who's read everything you've uploaded and can show you the hidden connections between documents you uploaded months apart. For academics writing literature reviews, this is genuinely useful. For consultants synthesizing client materials, it saves real time. For students researching complex topics, it's a clarity multiplier. But the feature that really made NotebookLM go viral is something Google calls audio overviews. This one is genuinely surprising. You upload your documents, click a button, and NotebookLM generates a podcast-style conversation between two AI voices discussing your materials. The AI hosts banter back and forth, explain concepts, highlight interesting points. It turns dense research papers into something you can listen to while commuting or exercising. I'll be honest, I was skeptical when I first heard about this. It sounded gimmicky. but the execution is better than you'd expect. The voices sound natural, the conversation flows logically, and it actually helps with retention because you're processing information in a different format. There are limitations on the free tier. You get 50 chat queries per day and only 3 audio overview generations. But for most research projects, that's plenty. For heavier use, Google now offers NotebookLM Plus and enterprise tiers through Google Workspace with higher limits and team collaboration features. Now let's talk about something important: privacy. When you upload documents to AI systems, you're naturally concerned about what happens to your data. Google explicitly states that NotebookLM does not train models on uploaded Workspace user data. Your sources stay private to your account. Now, some people will never fully trust Google with sensitive data, and that's a reasonable position given the company's history. You'll have to make that call yourself. For non-confidential research, though, like academic papers you're reviewing or public documents you're synthesizing, the privacy concerns are much lower. Another thing to know: the 50 source limit per notebook is a real constraint for massive research projects. If you're analyzing hundreds of documents, you'll need multiple notebooks. The workaround is to create separate notebooks for different aspects of your project. One for financial documents, one for technical specs, one for competitor analysis. It's not as seamless as having everything in one place, but it works. And for 95% of projects, 50 sources is actually more than enough. Let me tell you about some use cases where NotebookLM really shines compared to general AI chatbots. Due diligence. When you're evaluating a company for investment or acquisition, you have hundreds of pages of financials, contracts, and meeting notes. NotebookLM can synthesize all of it. Academic literature reviews. Upload 30 research papers on your topic. Ask which papers agree or disagree on specific claims. Get citations back to each paper instantly. Legal document review. Upload a 100-page contract. Ask about specific clauses, termination conditions, liability limitations. Get answers with page number citations. Meeting transcript analysis. Upload transcripts from a month of team meetings. Ask what decisions were made, what action items came up, who committed to what. In each of these cases, the key advantage is the same. The AI knows only what you gave it and can prove where every claim came from. Let me compare NotebookLM to some alternatives so you know when to use what. ChatGPT and Claude both let you upload files, but they blend your documents with their internet training. Good for general questions, less reliable for document-specific research. Perplexity is excellent for internet research with citations, but it's the opposite use case. It's for finding new information online, not analyzing documents you already have. NotebookLM fills a specific gap. When you have the sources and need to understand them deeply, no other free tool does this particular job as well. Here's exactly how to get started. Go to NotebookLM. Google.com. You'll need a Google account, but you almost certainly already have one. Create your first notebook. Give it a name that describes your project. Something like Q1 Competitor Analysis or Thesis Literature Review. Upload a PDF you've been meaning to read but haven't had time for. A research paper, a report, a long document that's been sitting in your downloads folder. Ask NotebookLM to summarize the key points. Then ask a specific question about something you actually need to know from that document. Click on the citations in the response. See how it jumps directly to the source passage. This is the feature that makes NotebookLM trustworthy for serious work. If you like the basic experience, try the audio overview feature next. Upload something dense, click Generate, and listen to your documents become a conversation. For your next research project, upload all your sources at once, up to 50 documents. Ask synthesis questions like, what themes appear across all of these? Remember, you have 50 queries per day on the free tier. Don't waste them on simple questions you could answer by skimming. Save them for complex synthesis work. Try the deep research feature when you have multiple related documents. The mind map visualization genuinely helps you see connections you might miss reading linearly. A few tips from users who figured out the best workflows. Break large projects into themed notebooks rather than dumping everything in one. Name your sources descriptively when you upload them. NotebookLM uses those names in citations, so Smith 2024 Review is more useful than Document Final V2. PDF. Use the chat history. Build on previous questions rather than starting fresh. NotebookLM remembers the conversation context within each session. The audio feature has a niche use case worth mentioning. If you're preparing to present on material, listening to an AI discussion of it helps you internalize talking points. Some educators are using NotebookLM to create study materials for students. Upload the course readings, generate an audio discussion. Students listen during their commute. Is NotebookLM perfect? No. The source limit can be frustrating. The daily query cap matters for power users. Sometimes the audio overviews miss nuance. But for free, with those limitations, it's remarkably capable at its core job, helping you understand your own documents better and faster. That 57% growth happened because NotebookLM solved a real problem people actually have, not because it was hyped or had a celebrity endorsement. So here's what to do this week. Go to NotebookLM, Google.com, upload one document you need to understand, and ask it 3 questions. See if the citations are as useful as I've described. If you work with documents, and who doesn't, NotebookLM is worth 10 minutes of your time to test. It might become your go-to research tool. I'm covering more AI tools that actually work for real tasks. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And let me know in the comments what tools you want me to review. Until next time, spend less time reading documents and more time actually using what's in them. See you soon.